Now, in a massive disclosure, the Chief of Air Staff, Air Chief Marshal A.P. Singh today has confirmed the true scale of Pakistan's military losses during the retaliatory Operation Sindoor. The Air Chief revealed that the Indian Air Force achieved its longest kill ever, striking an armed enemy surveillance aircraft a staggering 300 kilometers deep inside Pakistani territory. This pivotal operation, launched to avenge the Pahalgam terror attack, destroyed terror infrastructure and exposed deep weaknesses in Pak's air defences. Air Chief Marshal Singh confirmed India took down up to 5 Pakistani F-16 and JF-17 fighter jets in the air. On the ground, precision strikes decimated Pak's vital military installations, including radars, command and control centres, runways and hangars, directly addressing Islamabad's propaganda. The chief mocked Pak's false claims of downing Indian aircrafts, calling them Manohar Kahaniya or fascinating tales, and noting that the overwhelming strikes forced Pakistan to eventually ask for ceasefire. A strong statement from the Indian Air Force Chief: India's operational dominance is absolute.
We have struck a large number of their airfields, and we struck a large number of their installations. And what we have gathered from whatever int reports we have got is that on ground, because of our strikes, there have been radars at least 4 places, command and control centers at 2 places, runway, of course, damaged at 2 places. Then 3 of their hangars in 3 different stations have been damaged. And in that hangar, as well as on tarmac, we have signs of one C-130 class of aircraft, one AEW&C class of aircraft, and at least 4 to 5 fighter aircraft, most likely F-16, because that base happened to be F-16. Trying to attack our civil population and attack our military installations. Our robust air defense infrastructure, was very, very important part of the whole plan, and that came in. It along with its all the 3 services, the Army, Navy, Air Force assets being merged together. We could look deep inside their territory. We could make sure that they were not able to operate even within their territory, up to a certain distance. And it will go down in the history, that longest kill that we achieved of more than 300 kilometers by that.
Shifting our focus to India's military future, the Air Chief Marshal A.P. Singh today highlighted the nation's strategic push forward towards modernization and self-reliance. The Indian Air Force has drawn up a clear roadmap 2047 to enhance its combat capabilities, actively pursuing partnerships to build critical aircraft and weapon systems domestically and plug existing capability gaps. The Chief also emphasized that the force is committed to remaining entirely battle-ready for any challenge. In a major update on indigenous defense, the Chief confirmed that all 3 services, Army, Navy and Air Force, have started working jointly on the ambitious Sudarshan Chakra air defense system. The indigenous project is set to provide crucial, comprehensive protection to India's vital military and civilian installations. Furthermore, while the force plans its future procurements, the Chief gave a strong endorsement to the existing Russian S-400 air defense platform, confirming it has proven to be a good one for the Indian Air Force. The message from the leadership is clear: the Indian Air Force is rapidly transforming to secure India's skies.
400, and obviously that has done good. So there's a requirement to have more such. There is no limit to numbers that you can buy. Again, I'm keeping quiet on what is the plan, whether we want to buy more, how much. If it comes to you through some other source, at least I will not be guilty that I have said something. Okay, I'm not saying it will not reach you. You might get it from some other source, but it has proved to be a good weapon system. We have our own system also developing, so we will take a call on that.
As far as the holistic, system for defense of India, which Honorable Prime Minister also talked about, the Sudarshan Chakra. So we've already put our heads together in this, all the 3 services, and along with DRDO, and we have started working towards developing a system which will, of course, have the IACCS, our own integrated air command and control system, as the heart of this, and it will have all the elements so that it becomes, and it is, it falls under that the 3 criteria of testing: Achuk, Abhedya or Sati.
Well, in fact, joining us now live is Major Leke Sivaj, former Chief of Territorial Army. We also have Major Sudhakarji, geopolitical analyst, live with us. Air Vice Marshal O.P. Tiwari, former Indian Air Force officer, joins us, as does Major Dhruv Katoch, defence expert. Let me make a start with you first, Major Sivaj. What do you make of this revelation by the Indian Air Force Chief today?
You know, Uday, he has, made the thing very clear as to why people say that now we are bringing out this issue. There are two reasons. One is that Shehbaz Sharif has spoken in United Nations and he has spoken a lot of lies. And he has said that possibly they have put down about 7 to 8 Indian jets, whereas they have never given any proof. What he has made the thing very clear is as to how we could basically put down 5 to 6 jets of Pakistan, especially F-16 and JF-17 and also VAX. What has happened is that twice India has struck there. That is on the night of 6/7 when we have managed to hit their 9 terror infrastructure, which is Mudirka, Bhavalpur and Muzaffarabad, the headquarters of Lashkar-e-Toba, Jaise Mohammed Hizbul Mujahideen, where about 150 terrorists were killed. But the game changer was on the night 9th and 10th, when 11 frontline airfields were hit and their communication center, their radar, their runways and their hangars were non-operational. In this strike, you find that about 4 to 5 jets which were there in hangars, especially in Bolari, and also C-13J aircraft, again VAX, they were now damaged and they were non-operational. And there are about 4 to 5 officers and about 5 to 6 men were also killed in this. And the runways are still non-operative. There have been about 4 months and the satellite imagery says the runways are still under repair. Now the point which we try to convey the Air Chief, that the type of beating which Pakistan got it, they must realize this, and then now they have not understood. They are now telling lies all over the world, including United Nations, and they are trying to also fool America. But the truth lies here that India was very successful, and what the Army Chief has told today, the Army Chief has told that in Sindoor 1.0, we were kind enough to stop this war, but Sindoor 2.0 will not be that. We will change the geography of Pakistan. What does it mean? It means today, if there are 4 provinces, if the way the situation happen like that, if they keep on doing cross-border terrorism, there is a chance. As it is in Pakistan, there is a civil war situation, there is a political instability, economic crisis, terrorism increasing manifold. It can break into 4 pieces of Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, Balochistan, Sindh and Punjab, and POJ and Gilgit-Baltistan joining India. But this will all happen because India will make an effort this time. India will not stop the way we stopped in Sindoor 1.0. So I suppose the things are very clear whether it is Air Chief or the Army Chief. Also remember the comments which was passed by the Defence Minister in Bhuj yesterday when he told about the Sar Creek. You know, he has gone to the Sar Creek. He says Pakistan is becoming adventurous. They are trying to make a lot of infrastructure in Sar Creek, which is very important. Let me tell my viewers that in 1965, everyone knows the Operation Gibraltar started in September. But there was some activity started in Sar Creek somewhere in April. They tried to take our 2 posts, which we bounced back and hit them hard. So the point today which we are trying to convey is that Pakistan is trying to become slightly bold, especially after they have signed a defense pact with Saudi Arabia. And it will try to foment some trouble even in Jammu and Kashmir. We have made it very clear that if you have a cross-border terrorism, this time that our Sindoor 2.0 will not stop and we will hit you hard. That will break Pakistan into 4 parts, which I told you, Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, Balochistan and Sindh and Punjab. And that's what is going to happen. I suppose the Air Chief has also given a very loud and clear warning that Pakistan is only telling lies. They are not giving any proof. We have given number of proofs, including videos and satellite imagery, and the whole world knows as to how India hit hard Pakistan in this operation 4 days. And they came on the knees. The DGMO Pakistan requested DGMO India to stop the war. Uday.
All right. In fact, joining us now live is our other guests as well. Let me quickly draw you in here, Major Sudhakarji, to quickly elaborate, of course, on the extent of the damages as well. Major Sudhakarji, because the fact is, today in this statement, the Indian Air Force Chief has elucidated and elaborated in great detail specifically on what all was struck by us during Operation Sindoor.
Yeah, Uday, good evening. Thank you for getting me for your show. Um, and compliments to our very distinguished co-panelists. The question which you have raised, firstly, I must compliment our present serving Chief of the Air Staff, but I must also acknowledge he being in uniform, he can only be conservative in his expressions. He cannot be liberal. So we grant him that. And I'm a student of geopolitics who's been joining dots for quite some time. And during Operation Sindoor, I would say, fortunately, I was not in the country, I was outside the country, traveling for larger good of the national interest. And I had a chance to interact with multiple platforms and agencies. And I have a better picture. Actually, Pakistan has been taken back in time as far as the defense capability is concerned, if not more, at least by 20 to 25 years back. One. Number two, the biggest damage which has been inflicted, they will take at least a year, year and a half to 2 years to take stock and understand as to what damage has been crippled. Number three, why am I saying this is that the two command and control centers which our Air Chief alluded to today, even in the past, one of the command and control communication centers has got connectivity. It has got command, control, communication, computer, a host of other C's, and also intelligence, surveillance, and also it has got some connections with the nuclear command authority, and the connectivity, communication connectivity is gone. And more so, I also was not aware of any F-16 flying anywhere in the world. It has got a backward digital communication with the manufacturers, the Lockheed Martin. I didn't know about this. So when I was contacting, speaking to some people, some kind of figures when I total up, it brought me a conclusion that yes, India is doing good. We should not be very lavishly flourishing the data of the losses of the adversary, leave alone our own losses. No country in the world till date in any conflict have they formally and officially come out to declare their own losses. No country. China perhaps is the nearest example of 1962 operations. They disclosed their losses. That also was, I would say, manipulated sometime in 96, 97, and that too for one day. So therefore, I don't understand why our own people, they try to disclose. This is against the teachings of the armed forces. You don't go against the military science, but if you go against it, then you are enabling the adversary to compute a factor known as the comprehensive residual combat power. So if you enable that, the enemy will be able to calculate, and he'll be able to carry out rebalancing, redeployment, and also reconfigure its budget management for futuristic planning. So that brings me to the
Yes.
specific
Yes,
which you
I'll come
want.
back to you. I'll come back to you. Vice Marshal Tiwari, let me quickly draw you in here on, of course, the lessons that can be drawn for military strategists from how India conducted Operation Sindoor and what more we have learnt about that operation and the exact dimensions of what was struck within Pakistan from these latest statements by the Air Chief. Why was this necessary to elaborate also in the manner that the Air Chief has?
So see, it was apparently clear after Op Sindoor on the second day and third day, the briefing was conducted by the representatives. And even Air Marshal Bharti, DG Air Ops cleared a lot of things. Now, to what extent of damage has been caused in Pakistan, the photographs were shown. Hangars have been destroyed, command centers, offices have been destroyed, runways have been destroyed, and even on the tarmac, the bombs have, missiles have hit. So these are hit with, they're not empty spaces. A hangar is full of aircrafts. A command center is office which have got communication established all over there, like Major Siwaj was saying, that is there. And the aircraft parts on the tarmac. Even the dumbers, even the runways were destroyed. Runways are still now, we know that some US companies are coming to repair that. So whatever damage was done, we are very convinced, Indian Air Force, Indian Army or Indian Defence Forces are very convinced that we have done considerable damage and the aim was achieved. That's the region Pakistan DG operations, DG Ops came for. Gave a call to our DG Ops for the ceasefire. They had come onto the back foot because first night, first night we destroyed 9 targets with a precise accuracy. Meanwhile, they deteriorated. They attempted again on the return, which we are not expecting. But after after this 9 drops, what has happened? We have destroyed their drones. Whatever the attacks they did, we did our best. Electronic jamming was perfect, and the distractions are perfect. Lot of missiles and drones were destroyed, and no significant damage was caused to any of our places, even civilian or even military infrastructure. But that response given by that night was effective and very accurate and very time consuming and very effective, and that was a great indication to the all over the world how our missiles has been made, how accurately we have been able to deliver and hit the precise target. In fact, they were without any losses. What you got the targets without any losses means 100% efficacy, and everything was obtained. Now we all were aware, even the defense, even the external agencies were aware by extent of damage. Pakistan's media also coming in, not media but social media, and things were getting onto the public what has been done. But most of the people from our country, some organization in our country, within ours itself, they were not very convinced about it. Now it is very sad. It is very sad that the chief has to come out and give the details. Anyway, it is a good thing, good message, and it gives the confidence level of Indian Air Force high and our public is high. Our security is in the safe hands. Maybe Indian Army, maybe Indian Air Force, we are capable, and on the short notice, we can destroy whatever we desired. Remember one thing, it's just 12 to 13 days after the terrorist attack. It's such a short span of time, and you achieve the desired result. Thank you.
Yes, absolutely. Major General Katoch, your inference on what the Air Chief, of course, said today in this, elaborated position on Operation Sindoor, but also just moving forward, Major General Katoch, also what do you make of the roadmap 2047 outlined by him as well for our security forces as we move towards modernization and self-reliance?
Thank you, Uday. Uday, firstly, this is not the first time that the Air Chief has spoken. This is the second time that he has spoken in public. And I think the second time why he has spoken is basically what the Pakistani foreign minister stated in the UN. I think he had to set that record straight, which has been set straight. Now, the points which he made were very, very clear. But I want to talk of the future first. One, the AMCA is on course. Now, the deadline, I think by 2028, the first flight will take place, and by 2035, it will be operational. Now, whether we achieve that or not, we'll wait to see. But I think that is going to be a priority of the government of India now. The private sector is going to be roped in. The DRDO will be made accountable. I beg your pardon, HAL will be made accountable. And there's going to be a tremendous push in this. This is one. Number two is when he spoke about the Sudarshan Chakra, which the Prime Minister had alluded to as part of a comprehensive air defense. Now there he made it very clear. He says that he said that the S-400 has performed well, but what we get in the future, he's not going to comment very rightly so. But ultimately, we are going to the Sudarshan Chakra is going to be made operational across the whole country. And I think we are looking at a time frame of 5 to 6 years for that coming through. That is going to be the thrust of the modernization, because future conflict is not simply going to be land. It is actually going to be space warfare and fought over the oceans. The Navy hasn't come into the picture this time, though they were operationally deployed and they kept the Pakistan Navy in the docks. But I think in any future conflict, it is going to be air power and naval power which are going to be decisive. The army is simply going to stick on to the land border and hold what we are holding and punish them across the line of control. But otherwise, that strategic shift has taken place. And I think the messaging, the underlying messaging which has gone across from the Air Chief's speech, though he hasn't stated it so implicitly, is the doctrinal approach to warfare which we are doing now. It is going to be an all arms combat with be fused into one. And that, if we achieve, is going to be a very, very powerful statement across the world. Uday.
Absolutely. Let me, in fact, also quickly take that across to Major General Sivach on, what our priorities need to be. Of course, a lot of has been outlined already by the Air Chief, but what our priorities, according to you, need to be as we strive to make our, forces, of course, modern, self-reliant, and ready for the future warfare?
Yeah, Uday. You see, the point is, as far as the Air Force is concerned, its focus was mainly on that. Air Force is going to be basically a very crucial factor in winning or losing a war in time to come. Now, 2, 3 wars which have taken place recently, they have now given us a lot of lessons, whether it is Russia-Ukraine war, Israel-Hamas war, or Israel-Iran war. 2 points which stand out. One, everyone thought that the war will be short and swift. That thing is gone. The war can be longer also, and it can go up till even 2, 3 years. So we have to be mentally prepared for a long duration war also in future. I think we have changed our strategy. What is the cause of concern? And I'm sure the Indian Air Force is looking very attentively that we need about 42 squadron if there is a two-front war. But it has come down to almost 30 squadron. So this is where we are looking for is AMCA, advanced medium combat aircraft, which will be indigenously prepared along with the foreign players also. But that will take about time of almost 8 to 10 years for it to fructify. In between, I suppose there is a requirement of medium combat aircraft which is required to be there, almost about 100 of them. I'm sure Indian Air Force and Indian government is working on that to buy off the shelf, or as to how, or we cannot now make it so fast. Because the biggest problem as far as Air Force is concerned is engine. Because there are only 4 countries in the world which are able to make a jet engine, whether it is US, UK, France, and Russia. China also does not have that capability. It only makes a jet engine by reverse engineering the Russian jet engine. So having said so, we are also working on a saffron engine. We are trying to tie up with France. Possibly there can be tie-up in future where they may be roped in AMCA, because the AMCA will be produced in India and the technology will be transferred to us. So I suppose within AMCA, which will come in 10 years, in between we need a 5th generation of 4.5 generation aircraft, say about 100 of them. I am sure the Indian Air Force and Indian government is working on that. But what is more important is in time to come, it is a cyber warfare, space warfare, which is going to play a very crucial role. Drones are going to play a major role. Anti-drone strategy has to evolve. And we are working very, very hard on that. And the biggest thing which we are now working is Atmanirbhar, make in India. You know, case of emergency and war, you cannot depend on your friendly country also. You will not able to get your spare parts. The history has taught us. I suppose that is also a great focus. And that's what we are talking is Sudarshan Chakra. What we have realized is that in a modern era, the weapon system can go up to 4 to 5,000. So the whole of the country should have a defense system. Uday.
Okay. Let me draw that back to you, Major Sudhakarji. You were wanting to elaborate on your point, of course, and look forward for the future as well. What, have we gained from Operation Sindoor that, of course, can be adapted and taken forward as well? What have we learnt from Operation Sindoor as well that perhaps can also be adopted and taken forward?
Excellent. Uday, I hope you have time, because I wish to cover certain points which are being glossed over in most of the channel, all the channels rather. First and foremost thing, we need to understand what is a hangar, like the Air Marshal was trying to allude and explain. Hangar is for storage of aircrafts, or it is for maintenance and repair, or it is for any other kind of thing. It could have some logistic elements also placed. The size of hangars, it varies from say 20 meters to 80 meters to just recently one of my friends has said it can go up to 4,000 meters. There is a hangar in Taiwan which has the capacity to accommodate 300 aircrafts. So likewise, in Pakistan case, I am given to understand, as far as my input is concerned, it can be contested. I am open to corrections also. Each of the hangars had a capacity to accommodate at least 20 aircrafts. At least 20 aircraft. If 3 hangars have been demolished, that means you can multiply by 3 and goes to 60, plus whatever the Air Chief has said. It may sound to be very, very exaggerated, but this is the rough calculation I have gathered by joining dots when I was traveling outside. Second thing that I wish to bring out is that a major share of the losses in Pakistan are of F-16. One of the reasons as to why you find such kind of a U-turn or turnaround of the behavioral matrix of USA is that large number of F-16s have been destroyed, particularly the airbase at Burali. It had F-16, quite a few of them, and as per my calculation, I would like to take a wild guess here. It's coming to around 12 F-16s have been destroyed. It can be contested. I have no evidence. Third and most important point, Uday, is that like Noor Khan base was actually hit. Similarly, Shagai base also is one of the centers where actually it has given tremors to Pakistan. So such are the kind of damages. We are talking about 11 air bases, but if you talk to people in Pakistan, including the leadership, the figure goes from 11 to 13 to 17 to 21, and from one of the apex leaders of Pakistan political dispensation has gone to the extent of saying 26 air bases or bases have been hit, even including the depth areas. So you can well account for or have a perspective as to what are the losses. Second point you gave me was, let me just clarify one point. It is good to talk about one front, two front, 2.5 front, or three fronts as far as India is concerned. But fronts are directly, it has got a corresponding correlation with the front of the attacker.
Absolutely. Now, Air Vice Marshal Tiwari, also this Sudarshan Chakra. This Sudarshan Chakra system, how important is that also to be worked towards, Air Vice Marshal Tiwari, as the Air Chief has said today as well?
Uday, the thing is that now this war, as the General Katoch, as General Siwach was saying, now war scenario is going to be changed. It has already been changed. Ukraine war has added a different dimension to the war, or concept of the war. Now it has to be all the drones, and the drones and missiles has to be intercepted at right time. Otherwise they'll cause a massive damage. Here the place of India and Pakistan is concerned, we are so close to each other. Flight time of a missile, flight time of a drone is too less. We have to be very, very accurate and very abrupt to intercept them, to deflect them, or to destroy them. So the air defense needs to be very, very strong. See what happened in the Russia and Ukraine, the travel time was so much. They could track, could see, identify, and it was still not be done. But here the travel time may be anything from 5 minutes to 10 minutes to 15 minutes. So our air defense system should be very strong. See, Israel has a very three-layered air defense, but it could not sustain all, it could not hold on to all the missile attacks of the Iran, because air defense has got its own limitations. If you remember, Air Marshal Bharti has said, we intercepted drones with the sniper. We put the drones down with the help of the snipers. Even our experts, Garud experts or the foreign experts, they are waiting with the snipers and they put them down. Even you utilize the SAM missiles, old concept, very old, 1960s, 70, modified them. They have used all the equipments, whatever you have got, to destroy and intercept them. So that is going to be future. The very strong base is a far thing, and time will come when you'll have all two to three layers of air defense. That will be a Sudarshan Chakra, and to go across that, we really require something higher. And as far as the aircrafts are concerned, see, most of the firing missiles has to be done from the ground.
Right. Okay. I've run out of time. Major General Katoch, 30 seconds. Last word to you. Major General Katoch, 30 seconds. I've run out of time.
Okay. When you require...
Major General Katoch, 30 seconds to you, please.
Continuing from what Air Marshal Tiwari is saying, I think the future is, when we are looking at, if I'm looking at the future in 30 seconds, I will say the key word is going to be integration. That integration, not just within the services, which is being done, but with the political establishment too. And once that is achieved, I think all these synergies which we require will come about. Uday.
Okay. My thanks to all of our guests for joining us. Let's slip into a very short break. Much more coming up.